Here we are. Good morning. My mind seems to be a jumbled mess right now, but I'm going to trust the flow of the universe to take care of that. Jeff Africa's Last Dance here, where we are making it from the head, being a head-centered human being, ego mind, to a heart-centered being. As we open up that heart, we magnetize that heart. We increase the resonance of the heart, so it takes a bigger role in our reality and as we move through this life and meet and deal with others. Okay. Okay, we are here. Here's what I do. Before I do things that seem like they might be effortful, there will be no work needed here today. No effort. There will be no work here today. No effort needed. Discipline required. For as I fall back into these exercises and relax, staying in each breath, staying in each moment, each and every movement in love and in joy, ever the sharp eye to slow everything down, creating inner space so the universe can come to me, work through me, doing these exercises for me and for the larger community. No, there will be no work required here today. This is what This is what I say before I do, like the breathing exercises I do, okay? Holy shit, you gotta be kidding me. I create a sense of non-effort, or I don't have to move through these things effortfully, okay? And I've learned how to especially slowing everything down, creating inner space, letting the universe come to me, work through me, doing these exercises for me. You get into that mantra and you take the effort away from a lot of these things and practices we have to develop as we move into higher and better consciousness, okay? I'm recommending that mantra to you. This morning I did the Sudarshan Kriya. Okay, I've recommended that before. Go back and you'll see where that is taken care of. I'm recommending that practice to you. It's a pranayama breathing practice that really is a vital tool in getting rid of the lower vibrational areas in your consciousness and getting you on your way to developing a higher vibrational inner life. That this process flushes out a lot of things that we don't really want in our bodies, our auras, our chakratic system anymore. Okay, and it's really a tremendous boon in addition to what we want to accomplish here, which is getting ourselves into a higher vibration, getting out of our heads into our hearts, and experience a more fearless life. Okay, the consciousness. The consciousness that we are stuck with, the consciousness that I have deemed unacceptable and intolerable, is a consciousness that's incomplete. We feel incomplete as human beings. It's a fear-based consciousness in our ego minds that has us limiting ourselves and our interaction with this world because we don't want our weaknesses exposed. We limit ourselves, limit our spheres of activity. I've done it. I know we do it because I've done it. And we don't want these weaknesses and spots in ourselves exposed, so we avoid certain situations because of that reason. Okay, we're discussing my message now. That's number one on the list. We are stuck with a consciousness that is intolerable and unacceptable, and we have to find our way out of it. All right. Imagine the wrong-headedness of the way we think of ourselves as we get as teenagers and beyond. The low way we think of ourselves and understand ourselves at that point as lower vibrational, unworthy, unlovable, self-negativity, all those things that overtake us because it's done it to me, and maybe mine was a little bit worse than yours was. But it overtakes us, and we become a shadow of ourselves. Imagine how potent this 3D reality is to get us, which we are a children slash child of God or slash piece of God that has unlimited potential. You know, our true selves. That's what our true selves is. Imagine how potent this 3D reality is to get us to think all those negative things of ourselves, and the smallnesses and the fear orientations and the inabilities and just that take on ourselves that we all go through. That's how powerful this 3D illusion is. It's awesome. It really is awesome. And like I say, we're supposed to hit that. We're supposed to go through that. You didn't do anything wrong. It's part baked into the system, okay? As I was relating to the last video, that lower vibrational fear movement, that powerful, powerful fear movement I went through. In the past, I was barely hanging on in life, okay? I was moving through life 1 foot out. You know, when I would hear of somebody dying, I would go, oh, that lucky bastard, he got out of here. I swear to God, that's how bad it was for me. Like I say, that tells me that probably my version of this particular conscious form is worse than yours, because that's where I was. And when I would hear of someone dying, I'd go, oh, hey, that guy's lucky. And death truly is the easy way out. You know, because we don't really die. You know, we get the hell out of here dying, and the contention is over with this painful, anxiety, depression-filled reality that I was experiencing. But under those circumstances, we don't want any more bad news. You know what I mean? We don't want to know these deep movements of fear because we're barely hanging on. And we got enough to contend with. So, but as we blossom, as I have blossomed, then I am ready to start taking on these types of lower vibrational movements of fear that will pop up, especially now, especially this time, the Lionsgate, the August energies coming in at this 2024 time period. They're going to start shaking those things up. And I've been warned, saying, Jeff, look, you're going to go through a period here where you're going to have things shaken up, and your job is to gracefully move beyond it, okay? As we grow spiritually, we're able more to take on these what we would consider bad news areas that are have infected us, and are maybe even ancestral trauma or personal trauma in this lifetime oriented, and it is no fun to go through those, but we can do it as we have blossomed into, me and you, into a more security and understanding with these new tools and these new awarenesses that we're all developing. We can handle these types of things, and that must be said also. So the proof then of us making progress is being able to look at these things in a different manner. It's a different world now, and the things that come up, we know we're not them. We know we're the child slash piece of God with unlimited potential, and these things are temporary realities that are just getting in the way. Okay, and that's there's a dragonfly out there. I've been seeing a lot of dragonflies. That's got to be a good sign. All over the place. I was out in the field and they were circling around me, 2 or 3, and it was really, you know, it's a blessing. It truly is a blessing, the things that come forward. That is my reality now, and it will be your reality if it's not already, as you make progress in what I'm trying to tell you here. We must make progress in. As we experience the emptiness and the incompleteness and the fear-based and the limitations of ourselves, what we do at some point is we begin to craft a persona. Our ego convinces us to let it take charge, and we begin to, in an egoic manner, craft a persona that we present to the world to hide the limited, incomplete, missing emptiness that is ourselves, that we don't think is lovable, and no one really cares about that. So we craft a persona to be more interesting and to present to the world. Me as a chef, for a while I was presenting as a chef personality. And in a way, it was kind of liberating because you go too far the other direction. At first, you're kind of meek and you don't want to get along, you want to be liked, you don't want to, you don't want to be that outrageous nature you can be in a confident, real self. So I went through that, and then as I was a chef persona, I went too far the other way. So you're really direct and you're kind of rude, and you tell it like it is, and really on people if you need to be. And it felt freeing and liberating there for a while as I crafted this chef persona as a cover up of my what my weaknesses truly were as I perceived them to be. And in a way, it was liberating for a while. But being a chef asshole, you can only do that for so long before you realize that this isn't really the way forward. Although it's kind of fun in a powerful, you feel a bit powerful on the line, all your troubles drop away and you get into the space where you feel powerful, and you do these things that feel the antidote or the contra to the smallnesses that you had experienced in your teen years and early 20s. So you just adopt that persona. You develop a rebel persona, you develop a bad guy persona. I'm a dude now. I'm a bully now, or you develop those types of things. You develop, if you, even the more subtle levels, they mix with more true aspects of yourself too. It's not that you totally are that person. In your softer times, you become these things drop away. You become a little bit more of yourself. But we craft a persona. Lawyers, they craft a lawyer persona. They become a lawyer, they talk a lawyer, they say lawyer things, they have lawyer friends. Constantly, 24/7, they think in lawyer-like ways. Doctors, you craft a doctor persona. Jock, athlete, you craft an athletic persona to mitigate the sense of smallness and emptiness that we feel is at the bottom of everything. So crafting a persona, creating a persona, is an egoic way of trying to attempt to become more than what Jim Morrison, rock stars. They craft personas to become more interestingly, seemingly, in ways that our society, the social illusion complex, deem are better ways, are more clever, outstanding ways to be than what we consider to be a dilemma in this emptiness that we feel in our normal consciousness state that somehow has overtaken us. All right, and the real movement is going inward. The real movement, the way to solve that dilemma that overtakes us as a teenager and moving on, is to move inward. Okay, is to go inward into our heart center and to begin to unleash the power in an authentic way, in a more authentic way that we really are. Okay, it's the proper way to handle that issue, and because of these factors in this society, doingness is more important than beingness. Okay, we all are doing things to think well of ourselves in America too. And our greatest weakness, from what I can tell from humanity, our greatest weakness is beingness, is spiritual development. We don't really see the need for it. I mean, in doing this, we do some amazingly fantastic things. The bikes they're coming up with, are building these days, are tremendous here in America. They have for kids. I would have given my IT for these electrical bikes where you could pedal them, the big fat tires, pedal them, or you can engage the little electric motor that these people are whizzing 35 silent too, at 35 miles an hour down the road in these. You can pedal if you want, or you turn on this electric motor, I'm guessing, and they look like fun as hell. I wouldn't do anything to get a bike like that when I was a 12-year-old kid. The regular bikes even, I mean, they're crafting and building beautiful things. The cars we're building, we really do some impressive things, but the thing that our greatest weakness is the area of beingness. Okay, we put off the work on what I've been doing. My whole thing is it's always been a beingness issue for me. I'm very, very good at doing the things I need to do to increase my beingness. And I haven't really done a whole lot in my life, not as much as I could have done, in lieu of really focusing on beingness. And that is my strength is beingness, is doing the things for beingness. I'm not quite as good as the human collective in doing areas. And the way they're coming up, the kids are coming up with online businesses now. They find a niche, and they, in America, it's impressive. I'm impressed with it. And the way they follow through and create these types of things for themselves, it's fun to see. It's good. I'm not saying that. I don't mean to poo-poo doing this either. We are here to do great things, but beingness is what gives the container of beingness is what gives the doingness meaning. Okay, there is no true meaning in doing things necessarily. Not if we don't increase our beingness. Okay, that's the container that provides meaning to our doingness. Okay, so we end up doing all these things that may or may not have value to humanity, in lieu of kind of trying to, although it's somewhat shifting now, in lieu of concentrating on our beingness issues, so the things we do make more sense in the holistic way of humanity's interests. You know what I mean? So we're getting better at that. There's no question about it. So my second message is, well, we have it backwards. Doingness is prime, okay, and beingness is secondary. We have to flip that. Beingness and advances in beingness are much, much more satisfying and much, much more real than doingness, which can provide some satisfaction, but it's relatively short-lived. And then we're right back to the dilemma again. Okay, you look at John Lennon. At the end of John Lennon's life, before he got killed, did he seem particularly happy? Or even Paul McCartney, or Bob Dylan, or a lot of the rock stars, the stars, Robert, a lot of the stars that seem like they have led good lives, have an accomplished body of work, but they don't look like they're happy at all in their 60s, and 70s. They're grasping, they're hurting. I can tell that they're hurting. All because doing this is more important than beingness. Okay? That's what we have to turn around. That's what this channel is all about. We're about beingness here, and that's the container that makes doing this worthwhile. For in this consciousness form, in this incomplete, a negative ego, prisoner mind state. What I've thought all along is we've got political freedom here, more or less, in America. That we've got that far. A lot of the world, we're politically free, so to speak, although I'm learning that we weren't as free as we thought we were. But we're still walking around in prison. Okay? And what good is that? I felt my whole life I'm walking around in a prison. Although I was politically free, I was still in prison. Okay, because of my prisoner mindset, my prisoner consciousness. So that's another part of my message here. We have to start understanding that beingness is way more important than doingness. Okay, and we do things our whole life, we end up not satisfied because we haven't pertained or we haven't concentrated on our beingness levels and how to move out of our minds and into the greater divine realities that we have waiting for us when we do that. All right. This is, I want to keep this short. So this is going to be it for today. But that's another part of my message then as we go through, this is a whole whole thing of me saying, what is my message as a cosmic messenger? What is my messages? What have I noticed as a human being moving through the society? That's number 2 there, okay? We got to get beingness in the primary position, doingness in the secondary position. Got it? Jeff Africa, citizen of Earth, loyal patriot of the United States of America, and I stand unafraid. And these 4, Mother Earth, Divine Mother, Paramahansa Yogananda, Jeshua, they're sitting on my shoulders, sitting in my hearts, helping me do this right in front of you, becoming a heart-centered being, creating a brand new life where it's crackling with life and the crystal clear moment that we begin to notice and live. That is way better than the covered up mindset that has us out of the personal moment, out of the divine, eternal divine moment, which we are going to start experiences as we get into the heart experience and begin to process and understand with love, with the beaming of love, the eternal now moment, which becomes much more noticeable. And I've experienced it on psychedelics. Now we're going after it now, okay? We're going after it. We're making it real. I'm done with psychedelics. They were fun. They're fun things to do, I swear to God. But they're not enough anymore. I'm more of a mature human being. I don't want part-time things anymore. I want things that last now. Okay, that's what we're building. That's what we're moving toward. That's it. We're going to take it right here. And that is, again, part of my message to humanity as we begin to craft what is my message here and begin to talk about that, me and you together. What a wonderful thing some of these ways, these new ways are going to be, and the fruits they're going to produce for us in a very real way. Take us out of that when we get to our 60s or 70s. We kind of get lost, and we have lived the wrong-headed life if we haven't paid attention to our beingness levels and just lived our ego minds. And that prisoner mind state, lived that out with all the little personal dramas and our personal ways that aren't going to satisfy us without the beingness that we have to start to increase. Thanks very much. Next one. All right. Hope everything's going fine. Very nice here day. Very nice breathing exercises this morning with that mantra I just started with that makes it seem like a breath of fresh air, and you don't have to think of it as work. I don't. I think of it as it's better than watching TV. So, that's how non-effortful it truly is. Okay, so thank you for listening, and my numbers are not good at all. I would thought doing this that I would draw in a certain amount of people just because the universe is rewarding me for finally doing something. But this is just a preliminary effort, and I'm enjoying myself doing these things, and I'm not getting very many people in on this, but we'll see how it develops. But this is a good preliminary effort. I'm having fun, and not only that, but just whether people are listening or not, every video I do, I'm shooting out this wonderful energy into the universe and in the collective unconscious, conscious/conscious, and it has benefit even if there's not a lot of people listening and going on, but the people that are listening, thank you so much for listening. All right, bye now.